Hello, JB. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Shannon. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. We're almost getting to the end of summer.
Great. Just ruined my day, my week, and the month of August. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that means that we have some bolt-on universities that are quickly approaching. We're going to be in Chicago. Then we're going to
after Labor Day.
Exactly. And then we're going to be back in our hometown, right in beautiful Southampton, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. So we have a bunch of exciting things coming up, even though that summer's coming to an end.
Yeah, I know that summer's been hot, so looking for a nice cool spring where we can run around and learn a lot more about, the products and get out there and talk to a lot more shops. I think that's what we need to do.
Exactly. So, this summer we really just started our live stream opportunities where we're reaching out to a bunch of our customers to find out some of the questions that they have, the things that they want to learn more about, and just some of the hardships that they're dealing with in their automotive repair shop. And one of the things, we had a great conversation probably this time last week about when it comes to educating your customers with photos and videos.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes we know that the customers that come into your shop, they don't always understand exactly what the health status is of their vehicle.
Right.
They're coming in for one thing, and then they have all these other things that they have to take care of. And oftentimes, these photos and videos that we show are the best way to educate them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Shannon, there's some customers that come to us that don't even know how to put fuel in their cars. So, we're in Pennsylvania where we're allowed to do it. Other states you can't. But if you have a customer that doesn't know how to put fuel in their car, how are they going to understand a lot of the things that you need to share? Mm-hmm. Now, the advantage of having that customer in the shop is that we can walk them out to the car, up on the lift, and show them. Mm-hmm. But the thing is how many customers actually wait. So they go to work and all that stuff. We have to come up with a different way, and that's the picture taking that you're talking about right here. Mm-hmm. And the other side of the picture taking is in the old day, folks, when you had that paper inspection, you only pointed out the bad stuff because, it's too much work to write all and put all the new stuff right in there, all the good stuff. So we only talked about it, so we're basically banging the customer over the head and saying, hey, look, your car's really doing. You had a bad picture. Mm-hmm. So now we want to change it because a picture is just a click, done, you got it. We want to take a picture of the vehicle, take a picture of what the concern is, and then we want to deliver it to the customer just as if we were out in the shop showing it.
Absolutely.
And that makes sense. And if a customer doesn't understand it, we're now at a point where I can actually talk about it and make you understand why we need to replace your finagle shenanigans.
Sure. And you brought up a really good point. So oftentimes the ability that the shop owners, service advisors, or technicians had to bring their customers into the shop, mm-hmm. they get to see everything. Mm-hmm. So they get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And oftentimes what we see with our customers, that this is why we're having this conversation, is a lot of times they're only showing the bad on their digital vehicle inspections.
Mm-hmm. I actually had a customer come up to me once. Well, actually, I was service writing at the point, and I said, hey, how would you like us to do our free courtesy inspection? And the customer's response was, no, man, those free ones cost me way too much money. Mm-hmm. And, back then it's pretty much true because I had to copy everything. I had to translate the technician's writing. And I didn't have the time. I could only tell that customer what was bad.
Sure.
So it paints a really bad picture of us, paints a bad picture of the vehicle, and then a customer standing there like, well, is it real or am I being ripped off? Mm-hmm. So taking pictures is the next best thing. And one of the things we're taking the pictures is that we have to be sure that a customer understands what we're trying to share. Okay, so I actually have a couple of props here, and hopefully these will come up pretty well. I mean, here you go. A lot of us folks in the field see that, and we recognize that's a brake caliper, and you got your rotor and your brake pad and all that. But what does the customer understand? Probably not much at all. But here's the thing. Using a tool, boy, this is weird. It's backwards. Anyway, using a tool, a green tool, shows the customer that, hey, your brakes are good. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, why do we want to show them? Because we want to build history. We want to show them that today the brakes are good. So what happens is when they come back down the trip, we get yellow. And again, you and I, working on vehicles, can understand a rotor, the caliper, the hub, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But does a customer understand it? No. But here's the point. Yellow. It's warning time. It's recommendation time. You will need brakes. And I'm figuring by the way you drive, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, that it's going to be in 6 months. You have $300 you can give me? Do you have $300 you can give me?
Not that I want to give you right now.
But no, I mean, I want $300.
Sure.
You know, you're supposed to say no.
Of course you don't. Nobody wants to go in and have that big bill line up, especially when they're least expecting it.
Well, I was trying to make a point there. The point is exactly what you said, is that green to yellow to red, we're preparing the customer for that outlay of cash. So if they see that progression, you know, from green to yellow to red, is it a surprise when we get here?
No.
No. And that $300 you saved up, and you didn't give it to me, you had it for your car.
Sure.
And that's part of what we want to do. We want to build a history. We want to show the customer the wear and tear. And there's another advantage to this, Shana, is the fact that your shop, if you're using digital inspections, is probably the only one in the area at this point using the inspections.
Absolutely.
So we can bring those customers back to you because you have the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Mm-hmm.
You have built a history. And what else did you build? Trust.
Absolutely. That relationship, what we hear a lot of shops saying is that, oh, well, it takes more time to take pictures, to take videos, to fill up the digital inspection with all of the things that we're recommending. Of course it does, but you're investing in your customers at this point, and you're investing into a relationship. And when you have strong relationships with your customers, that's when you are able to build loyalty, and that's when they're going to be spreading the word to their friends, to their families, to people around them. So that way they come into your shop as well. So it's worth the time investment to build up this history, like you're saying, and really showcase the overall status and health of their vehicle.
You know, and that right there is what we're trying to share, is that as long as we build a history with a customer, they're going to have trust in us. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we can show the life cycle of a part, they're going to start getting used to this, because now tires are going to be covered and other hardware in the vehicle that's going to wear out over time. It's not going to be a surprise. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really the big part. Take the surprise out. Let them know it's coming. You can do it today, or you can do it next month, you know, whatever it is.
So Bolt-On Technology, we have a software that is for digital vehicle inspections where you can take photos, you can now take videos. What would you recommend are the best tips for technicians when taking these photos and videos? What should they be prepared for?
Well, the real thing is, you know, and as you said, it takes time up front, but the thing is, there's actually a time savings. But when you're looking at items like this, folks, we have to remember, again, we know what this looks like. So when we take pictures, you have to come up with different methods of pointing the customer's eye right to what we're talking about. So you can draw on the pictures, you can use tools like this. But the idea here is, once that customer, his eyes are drawn to that leak, that crack, whatever it might be, they can understand that little piece of it. And because now they see what we're talking about, and again, they may not understand all the rest of the stuff around it, but now that they understand that little piece, now they know why we're telling you, you need this today.
Absolutely. All right, so as you know, it's important to take photos and videos of the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's building your vehicle history, and it's building trust with your customers. Mm-hmm. So if you have any more questions, as always, we will be back next week with a new topic, but feel free to leave your comments and questions below, and we will answer them in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, please do us a favor, give us some questions so we can give you some answers, because that's what we're here for. And the bottom line is, if we can get the shops to follow these, get these ideas and put them in place, not only is it going to be better for the shop, but your customer is going to be better. And guess what? They come back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to do.
Exactly. So thank you again for tuning in. Leave your comments and questions below, and we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.